My beloved brothers and sisters, have you ever reached a point in your life where things suddenly begin to change without any clear reason? People you were once very close to begin to drift away. Relationships that felt strong suddenly become distant or even fall apart. Habits and routines that once brought you comfort now feel heavy, meaningless, or even harmful. The very environment around you starts to feel different, almost as if life is quietly nudging you in a new direction, and during these moments, it's natural to feel confused or unsettled. You might sit alone and wonder, what's going on? Why is everything shifting? Why does it feel like I'm losing pieces of my life? At first glance, it may look like everything is falling apart. You might feel like you're being punished or forgotten. But I want you to pause and think deeply. What if instead of losing, you're actually being reshaped? What if those uncomfortable changes are not signs of failure, but signs of divine transformation? You see, what many people don't realize is that when you ask Allah for guidance, for strength, for peace, for success in this world and the next, He doesn't just hand you the results instantly. Instead, He begins a process of preparation, and part of that process includes removing what no longer serves your purpose, what no longer benefits your soul, and what might even be silently holding you back from becoming who you're meant to be. Change by its very nature is uncomfortable. Human beings grow attached to what is familiar even when it's not good for us. We get used to people, to routines, to certain ways of thinking or behaving. And so when those things begin to fall away, it can feel as though we're being broken. But I want you to understand, you're not being broken down for no reason. You're being rebuilt. Rebuilt by the one who created you in the first place. It's not chaos, it's not bad luck. It's not rejection, it's divine redirection. And the sooner you begin to see these moments through that lens, the sooner you'll find peace in the process. You'll stop resisting the changes and start embracing them as signs that Allah is working in your life, even when you don't fully understand how or why. Because my brothers and sisters, when Allah removes something from your life, it's never random. It's always part of a greater plan to replace the old you with someone better. When we raise our hands and sincerely ask Allah for guidance, for strength, for purification, for a better future, or a closer connection to Him, we often expect the answers to come in the form of visible blessings. We imagine ease, comfort, happiness, or a sudden feeling of clarity. But what we don't always realize is that real growth, real change, the kind that brings us closer to Allah, rarely happens in comfort zones. Sometimes the way Allah answers your dua is by unsettling your life just enough that you're forced to pause, reflect, and start walking a new path. It might begin slowly. A friend you used to speak to every day stops responding. The people you laughed with no longer find joy in the same conversations. Certain desires that once pulled you towards sin lose their grip on your heart. You begin to feel a quiet discomfort with who you were, and yet you're unsure of who you are becoming. This is the work of Allah. Allah, in His infinite wisdom, does not always give by adding. Sometimes He gives by taking away. This is something many people struggle to accept. We think that if something is removed from our life, it means we've lost. But in reality, what's being taken may have been a barrier between you and your next stage of growth. It could have been a distraction or even a danger to your spiritual development. Allah sees what we cannot. He knows the unseen. He knows the hearts of people. He knows the consequences of our attachments. And when we place our trust in Him, truly trust Him, then we begin to realize that even painful separations are wrapped in divine mercy. It's important to understand that Allah's love for you is not always shown through what He gives you. Sometimes it is most clearly seen in what He saves you from. That relationship you were begging to keep, but Allah allowed to break apart. Perhaps it was pulling you away from your identity, your principles, your akira, that habit that once gave you momentary pleasure, but eventually left you feeling empty. Perhaps it was slowly darkening your heart and weakening your connection with the Quran and Salah. That environment you were so comfortable in, but that now feels foreign or toxic. Maybe it no longer reflects who you're becoming. Allah removes not to hurt you, but to heal you, not to abandon you, but to bring you back to Him in a more pure, sincere, and elevated state. And so when you look at your life and notice things slipping away, don't rush to panic. Don't immediately assume that you're being punished. Ask yourself instead, is this an answer to a dua I made long ago? Maybe you asked Allah to protect you, to guide you, to cleanse your heart, to make you stronger. And this discomfort you feel, it's not destruction, it's transformation. You're shedding an old skin. You're leaving behind a version of yourself that can no longer serve the mission Allah has placed in your life. And yes, that process can feel heavy. It can be lonely at times, but there is light at the end of it. And that light is closeness to your Creator, inner peace, and a renewed sense of purpose. Think for a moment, my brothers and sisters, about the things you once thought you couldn't live without. Certain friendships, routines, even sinful habits that felt like part of your identity.